California Dreamin'. It's the sound of sunshine and longing, a harmonic escape from a cold winter into the warmth of the West Coast dream. By 1967, that dream had an address, Laurel Canyon. And its kings and queens were John and Michelle Phillips, the golden couple who wrote the anthem for a generation. Their home was a non-stop happening, a vortex of creativity, fame and excess. And right next door, in a house just through the trees, lived Barry McGuire. He was the gravel-voiced prophet who had screamed eve of destruction into the charts just a year before. Two houses, two icons. One, a vision of folk rock harmony. The other, a voice of apocalyptic protest. They were neighbours, friends and fellow travellers on the dizzying road of sudden fame. But for every star, there was a shadow. The people who made the machine work, the roadies, the managers, the hangers-on. They were the stagehands in the theatre of rock and roll. And one of these men was known only as Smitty. He was John Phillips's personal roadie, the fixer. The guy who made sure the amps worked, the guitars were tuned, and that Papa had whatever he needed. He was a face in the background of 1,000 photographs, never the subject. On this particular night, Barry McGuire was away. Smitty was tasked with house-sitting, keeping an eye on the eve of destruction singer's home. It was a common practice. The canyon was a tribe, and everyone looked out for each other. And, like so many in that scene, Smitty was partaking in the era's favourite pastime. He'd gotten hold of a batch of barbiturates, downers. They were meant to take the edge off, to mellow out the frantic energy. But this batch was bad, impure, or just too strong. We can only imagine what happened next. The drugs didn't bring calm. They brought confusion, disorientation and paranoia. The cosy cabin walls might have felt like they were closing in. The laughter from next door might have sounded like mocking echoes. In his altered state, Smitty needed air. He needed to get out. He stumbled out into the cool night air, but he didn't go towards the road, the cars, the light. He went up. Behind the houses in Laurel Canyon, the land doesn't just slope, it climbs steeply into rugged, dark hillsides. It's a wilderness of loose shale, treacherous manzanita bushes, and sudden drops invisible in the darkness. Smitty, his mind swimming in a chemical sea, started to climb. Was he trying to get a better view? Was he running from something only he could see? Was he simply so lost he thought it was the way home? Step by unsteady step, he ascended further into the blackness, away from the music, the light, the life of the party. And then there was no more ground beneath his feet. He wasn't found until the next day, a grim discovery in the canyon brush. The news spread through the canyon, not with a scream, but with a whisper, a hushed, somber phone call from one house to another. Did you hear? Smitty's dead? He fell. The official story was a tragic accident, a man intoxicated who lost his footing in the dark. And that was true, but for everyone in that tight-knit community, it was more than that. It was a cold shower of reality, a omen. John Phillips lost his right-hand man. Barry McGuire came home to a house shadowed by tragedy. The party, for a little while at least, got a little quieter. The drugs were a little less glamorous, because Smitty wasn't a famous casualty. There was no magazine cover, no public mourning. He was a footnote, but his death was a stark, terrifying warning to everyone who heard the story. This was the dark side of the dream, the flip side of the record. The same culture that produced California Dreamin' could, in an instant, consume one of its own in silence and darkness. It was a reminder that for every moment of harmonic bliss at the top of the charts, there was someone in the shadows, climbing a dangerous hill, about to fall.